This is a coupling I installed last week. I gave it 2 days to have everything set up, but it is not working. So this repair sleeve is not going to work. So the next thing I'm going to go to is a telescoping coupling. So I can pick one of those up and we'll cut this out of the way and put the new one in and see how that goes. Last week I showed you this pipe up here that had a repair coupling in it, and it was just leaking all over the place. Well, I pulled that out, cut back the pipe, and I found this telescoping repair piece that really was nice. So I went ahead and put it in, glued the ends, and I've since have tested it, and there's no leaks at all. I think this piece cost me about $16. It was well worth it. So this is my sunroom, and what we decided to do with the floor is bring the floor up to the same level as the deck. And then as far as the door over here is concerned, I'll just have a slight little step up here. So this is going to be the outside entrance to the sunroom. One of my duties today was to put down insulation and a vapor barrier on the floor of our sunroom so that they can come in tomorrow and put down the wooden floor. So that's all done. And my Tongan guys came in today and put additional windows in. So this is like the little alcove area right here, but we're missing a window there because apparently we may have had some hidden damage because the glass is shattered inside. So I'm going to get hold of Home Depot and see what needs to be done to replace it. And I'm hoping they come in later this week and finish off the deck. Well, I'm in my house working on my plumbing, and if you can hear the noise, you might be able to guess what's going on. So this is mostly out here. They're putting the roof on. I'm excited for that. Looking good. At least we won't have to worry about any rain. So I'm glad they put this paper stuff down. I'm just used to having like tar paper. This is a little bit different from tar paper, but it'll keep the rain out of the house. And during this time of summer, we have gutter washers that will come out. There's just a sudden rainstorm that was dumped rain so fast everything backs up and floods. So it's nice to see this being on the house. So I'm pretty much finished doing all the plumbing. I did test my waste and vent lines just last week, and I had 2 leaks. So I have the bathroom here, and then the sink for the bathroom. Then we have the guest bathroom right here. And going over into the kitchen, not much can be done with this until I get the cabinets here. And there's gonna be another sink over here, a prep sink. And this is gonna be for my pot filler. And my wife, I think, is only 5'2", so I actually had to have her test this out to see if it would be fine with her height. And then we've got the laundry room. Only problem with the laundry room is this cap right here does not hold back the water. So when I fill my waste and vent lines, it always leaks right here. So I'll come around the corner here. Same thing as in the kitchen. I got the dual sinks in the master bathroom. I can't really do much until everything is put into place. And then I have the shower right here. This is a walk-in shower for 2 people. So this one right there is at 6 feet, and this one is, well, guess who it's for? It's only at 5 feet. So anyway, that's all done. Of course, then that's just going to be the loo. And the place where I had my leaks was right up here, so I had to put a repair sleeve up there, and I haven't tested that yet. And then the entire toilet flange that's up there, which is now right here, this had just a little itty bitty leak. And I was debating whether I should change it out because, you know, waste is going to go down here. There's no pressure behind it. But yeah, what if it would have leaked sewage over time and got into my wall? And so I had to cut this piece out and put in the new piece there. And then this was the other repair spot I had to do a long time ago that I tried the repair sleeve, and that still didn't work, so I had to go with that telescoping sleeve. So I'm ready to fill everything back up with water and see what happens. That I have going up to my vent way up there in the ceiling, which I have temporarily it doesn't go out yet, but that's where it's tied in, so I'm going to fill that full of water and see what happens. This is a predicament I have. This is basically the highest part of the plumbing that's going to be in my house. As far as drains, that's the vent going up to the ceiling. And so I'm sure there's a way I could stop the overflow and the drain on the plug so I could actually go all the way up to the vent and have it run over there, but I'm hoping that the inspector will let me go with this, but that's basically what's going on now. So everything is backfilled. It's probably take a little bit of time for the air to get out, and then I'll go around looking for leaks. And I know a lot of people use air pressure to do that, but I rather do water because sometimes it's hard to find an air leak and you have to use soapy water, but I like just filling up with water and going with that. Alrighty, so everything is filled up, and now I have to give it 15 minutes to see if there's any leaks. If I'm going to have a leak, okay, actually we can test this out. So I put this back on, but instead of just putting it on, there's like a little rubber O-ring underneath this. But what I did, I filled the area right by the gasket with some plumber's putty, and it seems to be sealing just fine. So I normally was expecting a leak here, but this may be just fine. But if I'm gonna have a leak, I think it's gonna be from where I had to join those two pieces of pipe together with a repair sleeve. And I just wish the repair sleeves were a little bit longer. This only allows a 1/4 inch of pipe on each side. And I think if there's twice as long, it would be a lot better. The only leak I found so far down in the basement is right here. This is basically where I had to put a test plug in here, and that's leaking, and that's not a big problem. I don't think that's gonna be any issues. And then the one right here, that one is holding, no leaks, and no leaks on the floor from the new toilet flange, no leaks there. And the big one is gonna be no leaks up there. But coming back to this one, it's still leaking a little bit, just a drip here and there. I'll have to stick a bucket underneath there, because altogether I think this system probably holds about 25 gallons or so. But that would be allowed because it's coming out from here. I guess the worst case scenario I can do is cut this off, remove this, and I can always put a coupling back on here, but I can just put a test cap down in there and take care of that. Now, here's another issue. I wasn't here when they poured the basement floor, but one thing I checked with a scope is a P-trap was not put down here. So this is my utility closet. So the furnace is going to go over here, water heater there, valves, regulator and stuff. So I had to saw cut this out and break up the concrete, take out a lot of the gravel that's going to be down in there, and put in a P-trap. Because the last thing you want to have is the sewer gases coming up out of the drains. So that's another thing I wish I would have double checked before they did everything, is the P-trap. I do know that over on this other side, a P-trap was put into place because I actually saw it before they covered up with gravel. So this is just going to be a sink, so the P-trap would be in the plumbing underneath the counter. But this is a shower, and so this I do know there was a P-trap down in here because I saw it before it was covered up. But over there in my utility room, no P-trap. So now I have to go back and put one in. I'm downstairs getting my water heater all ready to go here. And next to me, you can't see with the camera, is a Big Mac. And one of the problems I have is this is kind of out in the Tules, not a lot of businesses around here. So I get off work at 2 o'clock, and on the way out here to the house, I'll pick up a Big Mac, and I'll take it with me and just stick it on my workbench until later on, and I end up eating them cold. And brings back lots of memories, because when I was stationed in England at a RAF Air Force base, if we ever found someone going into London, we always gave them a whole bunch of money, and they'd go down. Sorry, I had to answer the phone. So anyway, if we found out anyone was going down to London, we always give them a whole bunch of money to go swing by McDonald's on Kensington High Street, and they'd come back with just a bag full of Big Macs. And we didn't care if they were cold. They were great to eat, even cold. And so I'm kind of like keeping the tradition alive. If you haven't done much about plumbing, or if you're just kind of learning things, this is what I always do when I'm working with pipe threads. I always like using a Teflon base paste on the threads. Then after the threads have paste on, then I will put 3 wraps of Teflon tape on the threads, and then I will also put Teflon paste in the threads here. So when I'm all ready to go, I can just go ahead and put this on. So this is a union, so this is part of the union here, the rest of the union is right there. But I've never had a leak since this was taught to me years and years ago. I've never had a leak with a threaded fitting by using a combination of Teflon paste and Teflon tape. And so I've been doing this for years and years now, and so if you're going to do it, you might want to try that out. And then when you're tightening anything, back it up with a wrench. I don't know how strong the joints are going to be down inside this water heater, so as I'm tightening this, you want to make sure you can back it up going the opposite direction to offset the torque I'm putting on this wrench. It's just a good, safe thing to do. Oh, Alconberry. Is it Alconberry RAF? For a minute there, I couldn't remember the base I was at. But I enjoyed my time with the Brits. So anyway, on with the water heater. So this is what my setup is. So I have a 3/4 inch union threaded on both sides. Then I have a 3/4 inch male thread by a 3/4 inch PEX, then a little section of pipe here. And then I have a 3/4 inch PEX ball valve. So my cold water will come in here. I can use this to isolate it. And I have the quick disconnect here to remove it in place. I hope I don't have to use it too much, but that's what I do to plumb my water heater in. And it's getting dark down here. It's cloudy, and it's almost to the point I can't see what I'm doing anymore, but I do have some lights. But That's what I'm doing with my water heater. So this is what I had to do to get a P-trap in there. Now I haven't put the P-trap in there yet, but I have plenty of room down here now to cut it off here and have the P-trap come up right about this area. Then I'll make it flush with the ground, put a drain in it, and just have that all done. The end of week 23 is a bit of a milestone. I'm all done with my rough plumbing, and I'm moving on to do the electrical, plus at the same time I'm starting the roof. So once we can get everything nice and dry in the house, we can move on to other things that can't be done with the possibility of rain coming in. So with week 23, we're looking at the last of the miscellaneous plumbing at $742.24. Just a little bit more lumber and hardware for $237.81. And then I picked up metal, $235 worth of metal, and this is to make railings around the stairs in my garage leading downstairs. And then the big momentous occasion is the first payment on my roof is $10,000. They started it this week, and I'm hoping they'll be in next week to do the shingles. So for the week 23 is $11,215.05. Adding that to the expenses so far in this journey, $436,631.45. And I'm looking forward to week 24 and electrical work on the house.